Hello, everyone. My name is Alpar Kamber. I am the founder and CEO of Denali, a WNS company. And I want to welcome you to this first episode of Procurement People Pro Tip Series. I'm excited about this new initiative that we decided to take. And really, the focus of these series is to bring um, a piece of advice, a piece of learning, or an experience that our team members around the globe have accumulated over the years, and wanted to share that with you so that you can take that and then apply it to your daily lives at work, at home, in procurement in general, and continue to deliver value out of those tips. So with that, in this first episode, I wanted to focus on a fundamental principle that had stuck with me since the days of my college. So I studied business in college, and with a focus on management science. And my professor back then have introduced me to Eli Goldrat's book called The Goal. If you haven't read it, I strongly recommend you read it. And it's really built on this profound principle of theory of constraints. And what it is really is bottlenecks, is to be able to identify the bottlenecks in anything, and to do something about it, right? So just to give you a simple example, I cook breakfast for my daughters, every weekend, and they love my crepes. And usually the crepe making process takes about 30 minutes. And I don't want to be making crepes and let it sit there. So I want to try to do it just in time so that they can enjoy it while it's still fresh and hot off the pan. So I've been, and they also get anxious, because it takes 30 minutes. And once they start smelling it, they want to be able to get the next one very, very quickly. So I've been experimenting with how can I shorten the whole crepe making process from 30 minutes to a much shorter time. If you think about the two stages of crepe making, one is to prepare the ingredients and getting the mix ready, and the second one is the actual cooking process. And so first I looked at the getting the ingredients ready, getting the mix ready, and it used to take 15 minutes, and I was able to reduce it down to about 5 minutes. But that was it. Then I run into a bottleneck that no matter how long and how efficient I was, it was taking 5 minutes to get it ready, and then 10 minutes to cook it, and usually about a minute a crepe. So what I realized is I wasn't focusing on the right bottleneck. The true bottleneck was actually the cooking process itself, because it took a minute to cook a crepe, and I was using a single pan to do it. So I tried using 2 pans, one for each, and try to cook 2 crepes at the same time, which I was able to do the 10 crepes in 5 minutes. It basically cut the amount of time in half. So now 5 minutes of preparation and 5-minute cooking, I reduced the whole thing to 10 minutes. Obviously, this is a simple example of how bottlenecks can be identified, and if we do something about it, we can significantly improve what it is that we're doing. So now talking about procurement, again, this is the fundamental idea that we built our business on, looking at procurement as a system. There's always bottlenecks that limit you to create value, right? And if we identify a unit of value as a sourcing project, there are a number of bottlenecks that exist that limit you to do more of a sourcing project or do a sourcing project faster. To give you some examples, it could be the number of resources you have that are tasked with running sourcing projects. It could be the information and the data that you have access to that allows you to define the scope and the amount of time and effort it takes to do that. It could be the technology you're using and the way that it is configured, or it could be the process. You may have a very complex process and steps you have to go through that's limiting you to do more of those projects faster, and more of those projects in a finite amount of time. So it's really important to identify those bottlenecks and do something about it. That's why I want to leave you with 3 tips. The first one is knowing what to change. Really understand what is the true bottleneck that you need to take action first. That will significantly improve the results and create more throughput. The second is what to change it to. Okay, what do you need to do about it? And the third one is creating a cause and an environment that allows you to make that change in a sustainable way, which leads me to maybe my next series that you may see me talking about is the operating model and the procurement ecosystem. Because to create a sustainable change, you need to think about it, the whole ecosystem and the operating model that operates it. So we'll be talking more about those. Again, I wanted to thank you for listening, and do look forward to more of these series to come, as I'm excited about it, and look forward to seeing you soon in another episode. Thank you.